Welcome to the channel. I'm Mark, and on this series, I'll be traveling to churches far and wide to bring you encouraging, heartfelt messages from seasoned preachers and youth ministers. These intimate interactions will be to uplift, inspire, motivate, and strengthen your walk with Christ. This is Roadside Ministries. On this episode, we're joined by Pastor Scott Winstead. Scott's the founder of Crossroads Community Church, where he's ministered for the last 35 years. What began with only 3 members now flourishes well into the hundreds. Before starting Crossroads, Scott served his country in the Air Force and was a renowned athlete, playing both golf and softball during his veteran years. He was a communications engineer before God called him to become a pastor. He's been married 40 years, has 2 kids, 4 grandchildren, and a 5th on the way. I'm proud to welcome Pastor Scott Winstead.
Well, hello there. Hey, I don't know if you grew up like I did, but one of the things I remember hearing over and over as a kid was that this slogan that sticks and stones can break your bones, but words never hurt you. I don't know what age I was when I figured out that that's a lie. We do know that words hurt, right? I mean, we've all got stories. We've heard the stories. We've been a part of stories, probably both sides of that equation. And words really do hurt. There's a lot of power in words. Matter of fact, words, according to the Bible, say that words can give life and they can certainly destroy life. And I want to share with you a story today that I don't know how many years ago that this made an impact on me, but it still impacts me today, and I try to keep this in mind as I interact with people, because all around us, people are hurting, and no one's dying of too much encouragement. But let me share this with you. This was a story that Elizabeth Ballard from Chesapeake, Virginia, originally shared about a teacher named Miss Thompson who would start every school year in September saying to all of her students that who she is, that I try to treat everybody the same. I don't play favorites. I'm not sure that's always true, right? Because we're all human beings. Teachers are human beings, and there's just certain people we kind of click with, and sometimes there's people that are extra challenging or difficult to get along with or to deal with. Well, that year she had one of those students. His name was Teddy Stollard. And Teddy was one of those, he kind of had an attitude, if you will. He was just kind of sullen. He would come in, he wouldn't really pay attention. He would slouch in his desk. He'd hang his head down. Whenever Miss Thompson would ask him a question, he'd just answer in monosyllables like yes or no. And so it was a little difficult there to deal with. And she knew that, and it was a little bit rough, right? And she should have known about Teddy, because teachers have records on students, and she had records on Teddy. Let me take you on a little journey here. Here's what Teddy's record said. First grade, Teddy shows promise with his work and his attitude, but he has a poor home situation. Second grade, Teddy's a good boy, but he's too serious for a second grader. His mother is terminally ill. Third grade, Teddy is becoming withdrawn and detached. His mother died this year, and his father shows no interest. Fourth grade, Teddy is a troubled child. He needs help. Well, now Teddy's in 5th grade. He's in Miss Thompson's class, and which should have told her something. Teddy was not growing up in a vacuum. Well, Christmas came around, and all the kids brought in their gifts for Miss Thompson, and they were all nicely wrapped in beautiful paper and nice bows and such. But there was one package that was just wrapped in a brown paper sack, kind of put together with some duct tape and some scotch tape, and she kind of knew whose that was. She saved that one for last, actually tried to push it off to the side. And Teddy said, "Miss Thompson, aren't you going to open mine?" Well, she had received all kinds of nice gifts. She opens this up, a little embarrassed maybe for Teddy, not knowing what would be in there, because Teddy was kind of unkept. His clothes smelt musty at times. Well, when she opened up the gift, out fell kind of a gaudy rhinestone bracelet with most of the rhinestones missing. And there was a large bottle of cheap perfume with almost no perfume left in it. Well, she did have the right mindset. She clipped the bracelet on. She sprayed some of that cologne on her wrist, and she kind of put it out in front of the kids and said, "Doesn't this look and smell lovely?" And the kids, kind of taking their cue from Miss Thompson after they had giggled about the gift, kind of nodded in affirmation. Well, the school day ended that day, and Teddy was the last one in class. All the kids had walked out of the room. Teddy walks up to the desk, hangs his head a little bit, and said, "Miss Thompson, I just wanted you to know that all day today, your smell reminded me of my mom. And the bracelet that you're wearing makes me remember my mom too. I'm glad you like my gifts." And Teddy walked out of the room. Well, Miss Thompson sat at her desk, put her head in her hands, and literally started to cry and cry and cry. She actually prayed and asked God to forgive her for being the way that she had been to Teddy. Well, the next day when the kids came to school, they had a new teacher. Oh, it was still Miss Thompson, but she was a new teacher. She was just new. She cared like she had not cared before. She focused like she had not focused before. She had a tender spot for kids that may not fit in like all the other kids. And she had a special spot for Teddy. The way she nurtured him, the way she cared for him. She even tutored him when he was struggling. By the end of that school year, Teddy had caught up with many of the kids in class and actually was ahead of some. Well, that year, when the school year ended, Teddy moved away. And she didn't hear from Teddy. She didn't know what was going on with Teddy. But about 4 years later, she gets a letter in the mail. No return address. It's a letter from Teddy. "Dear Miss Thompson, I want you to know that I'm graduating high school this year. I did it. Love, Teddy Stollard." Her heart just melted. No return address, no way to communicate. 4 years later, she gets another letter in the mail from Teddy Stollard. "Dear Miss Thompson, I just want you to know that I'm graduating second in my class. The university has not been easy, but I did it, and I wanted you to know. Love, Teddy Stollard." No return address. 4 years later, she gets another letter in the mail. "Dear Miss Thompson, I wanted you to know that as of today, I am Theodore J. Stollard, MD. How about that? I wanted you to be the first to know. And by the way, I'm getting married in July, the 27th to be exact, and I'd like to know if you would come and sit where my mom would have sat at my wedding. You're the only family I have now. Dad passed away last year. Love, Teddy Stollard." Well, Miss Thompson came to Teddy Stollard's wedding, and she sat where his mother would have sat. And you know what? She deserved to sit there because she had become an instrument that God used. She had let her words build life, encourage life, and not tear it down. Oh, she had a past that she wasn't proud of, but she made an adjustment. She made a change. She impacted a life. And now he's impacting many, many lives. I don't know what that does for you. I've never forgotten that story of Teddy Stollard. Quite honestly, don't even know if it's true or not. But I know there's a lot of Teddy Stollards, regardless of the name, all around us, all the time. Listen, if there's somebody in your life that's inspired you, maybe you never thought of saying something to them. Maybe they're still alive. Maybe you could pick up the phone and call them. Maybe you have their number and could reach out. Maybe you could search them out. Write them a note. Say it if you can say it. Tell them in person if you can. And you and I, listen, every day, I pray that you use your words not to tear down, but to build up. Matthew 25:40 in the New Testament, Jesus said, "Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me." You never know who you're impacting. But mark my words, your words either build up or they tear down. Let's use them wisely. God bless. Have a great day.
The whosoever, all together, giving Jesus the glory forever. Giving Jesus the glory forever. Giving Jesus the glory forever. The whosoever, all together, giving Jesus the glory forever. Giving Jesus the glory forever. giving Jesus the glory forever.
I just want to say something encouraging to anyone going through a difficult time. No matter what you believe spiritually, don't lose faith in human goodness, in love, and in a Creator that cares about you. Joy may find you at any moment to snuff out all of your sadness, so don't let yourself lose hope entirely. No matter how tough life is, there's so much beauty in it as well. And no matter who tries to bring you down, there are wonderful people out there who'd love to see you succeed and who actually care about your future. I'm one of those people, even if I barely know you or don't know you at all. I want everyone to be able to find inner peace, to realize that they do matter, to know that they're truly loved, and to never feel completely alone. Stay the course, pick yourself up, and stand proud of who you are. Stand proud because you're special. God made you that way, and He loves you just the way you are. Try your best to smile at the day, living each moment as if it were your last. If more of us band together, we can make positivity snuff out negativity, encouragement snuff out criticism, and love snuff out hate. I'm here for you through your struggles, and I care because we're all human. Simply put, we should all want the best for one another. That's just called humanity. God bless.
You'll find that God is true. Trust in Him and rush right in. He takes the old and makes it new. He takes the old and makes it new. Like rivers rushing, rushing, rushing. Like rivers rushing, rushing, rushing. Taste and see the Lord is good. Taste and see the Lord is good. Sometimes the only one who cares is Jesus Christ. He hears our lonely prayers when no one else is nice. Sometimes the only hope we have from hurt and harm is when we hear, "Come, my child, to Jesus. Come, my child, to Jesus. Come, my child, to Jesus." And we crawl into His arms, and we fall into His arms, and we crawl into His arms.